Hi and welcome. This is Lena Knits podcast. This is my podcast about knitting and yarn, and I'm Lena and I'm coming to you from Helsinki, Finland. And this is episode 21 of my podcast, I believe. Today we have some finished objects, some works in progress, some stats enhancement, and a little bit talk about needle storage. So let's get on with it. My finished object is still slightly damp, so it's really quite new. This is my Peeping Cow by Johi Locatelli. The pattern is available on the Interpretations 3 collection, and if memory serves me right, also as an individual pattern on Ravelry. And this is a giant cowl, and I really loved knitting this. It was just the perfect amount of different techniques. So you have some eyelets, stripes, cables, lace, and I think this is cables or interlac where they form this sort of a basket weavy thing. And the way the pattern is constructed is that you use 3 colors, but I used 4 colors, sorry, but I think I used 7 or 8. So I had one full skein, which is this purple one, and that's dragonfly. Why is that always so difficult to say? Dragonfly fibers, dragon sock base in the Daenerys colorway. It's a really lovely, almost solid purple. And then I had a whole bunch of odd and ends from different projects. So I think 3 types of gray, sort of royal navy blue there, pink, and a sort of icy grayish blue. And everywhere else I did it exactly as written, except on this lace part where I had to stop using the gray for I think 3 rows before the pattern told me. So I'm really liking this. This is my hair is going to be all messed up right now, but I really rather like this since it is so tall or long, however you want to put it. It sort of naturally falls into place and covers your neck. Of course, you have some extra somewhere, but I think it'll work nicely. When it's cold outside, just put this on your head. And of course, you can use it as a snoot, but I'm not going to do that. Did enough damage to my hair, I think. But yeah, I need to remember to put that still on the drying mode. So I didn't block this aggressively. I just let it soak, squeeze the water out, excess water out, and then just laid it flat. So that seemed to have brought out the lace and the cables. And after it had been lying flat for a while and wasn't that wet anymore, I just hung it sort of like this. So a bit of natural weight pulling down. I had thought of just putting it on a line, but when it was fully wet, it was too heavy and I thought it would stretch too much. So that's my finished object. And let's first go with the whip that you've seen before. Oops. I really need one of those DPN cozies or something. I'm always dropping needles now that I'm knitting these on a bus. So whenever I need to get off the bus, I just stuff it in my bag. But yeah, so I'm knitting these bat socks, Halloween socks for myself, with a pattern that I made up. Well, it's just vanilla socks. I didn't really need to make up anything. So it's a simple 2x2 rib, then some color work, and I got the bats by looking at simple cross-stitch images of bats online, and and going with those, sort of copying those and then fudging them a bit to fit the amount of stitches I had. And then I did my first fish lips kiss heel, and I rather like it. It turned out quite neat on both sides of the heel, and was really easy, not having to pick up any stitches. And I think it fits quite well. Of course, I haven't worn this yet, so I can't really say how it stays on, but the fit was okay. And then a simple, I don't know what do you call them, but toe decreases on both sides of the stitches. It was sunny when I started, and now it's not, so the lighting is a bit odd. Today's an odd weather day. It was foggy, then it was sunny, then it was raining, and then it was awfully windy, and then it was raining again, and then it was sunny, and it's not even 11 a.m. So go figure. The yarns that I'm using are, where are my tags? Sorry about this. The pink one is Barenwolle, and it's their barefoot sock, and the colorway is Baby Girl. Barefoot sock has 400 meters, 437 yards, 400 grams, and it's 80% superwash merino and 20% polyamide, which I think is the same as nylon. And the darker color that I'm using is not really black as the camera shows, but it's Lenny 2 Mix Machines, whoops, wrong way around, and it's their BFL sock twist base, and now you can see the color, and the colorway is called Diabolical Master of Disguise, so it's this really sort of dark greenish gray with just hints of teal and brown, I guess. A simple explanation of the lovely color. Let's see if I could get the with the white on the background. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So it's dark, but it's not solid dark. So the first sock is done, and I cast on the second one, and I did the color work part. So now I can again easily knit it on the bus. I didn't actually have commutes this week. My son was pretty sick, home with a high fever, so I've been home as well, and we've just been sitting on the couch. And while that would sound like a great time to knit a whole bunch of things, it didn't work out that way. I was really quite worried about him, and sort of he kept interrupting me, and I kept interrupting myself with getting water and getting something to eat and putting on socks and taking the socks off and putting the pillow better and putting it another way and starting a project on TV or a program on TV and turning the TV off because he was too tired to watch it. And so it was really just a row here and there, which is why the Peeping Cow got finished, since that was a perfect knit for that. Color work, not so much. Just water today. Oh, I forgot the tags. And then the other work in progress. Now I just want to say whip. The other whip that I want to show you is something that I started last night. So today is Friday, the 30th of September. So I started this yesterday evening, which is on Thursday the 29th, which is when it came out. So this is the Coastline pattern, the latest pattern in the Wanderlust collection by Janina Kallio. And well, I really just started. So it's a shawl, so it goes this way. Right, so it's just the beginning. But what it's going to be is I believe garter strips in this main color, and then sort of wavy pattern on this lighter color. So this was called Coastline, and I'm actually housing it in my latest bag, project bag. This is from Fund and Fiber, and I was really craving for a Autumny project bag, so I thought this was really cute. It's got all these lovely names: Fox Kingdom, Opossum Pond, Penny Cottage, Acorn Trail. It's really, really cute. And I've never tried Fund and Fiber bags before. And I think this was their medium size, and it's really rather large. It has two cakes of yarn, and there's room for a lot more. Oh, and I added one of the stitch progress keepers of this mushroom, which I thought would be a perfect match. So the yarns that I'm using are these two cakes, and these two skeins. My main color is this solid tealy color, and it's by the Uncommon Thread. It's their tough sock, which is 80% blue faced Leicester and 20% nylon, and the yardage is, well, it just says 365 meters for 100 grams, and the colorway is Seascape. And then my contrast color, no, that's not it. My contrast color is from Bohemia Fibers. This is really pale, slightly variegated yarn of blues and grays, and it's on their Bohemian 80/20 sock yarn. Okay, so my camera lost its ability to focus, but this is 80% merino, 20% nylon. It's a 2-ply, and it has 400 yards per 100 grams, so I think the yards on these two is pretty much equal. Oh, now it's focusing, it just doesn't like tags. Right, so that's a new cast on, and I'm really enjoying it. Where did I put the actual project? The recommended needle size was size 4, and previously I think the patterns in the Wanderlust collection have also been for size 4 needles, or sorry, 4mm needles, and I think I've been using 3.75mm needles, and pretty much every single time I ran out of yarn, so this time I went down to 3.5mm needles. So yeah, no, still not doing swatches. Let's see how this goes. I think garter stitch with my knitting style, or my I don't know what you call it. The way I knit and garter stitch means that my gauge is always way larger, because I'm a loose knitter, and it just gets looser if I don't have to purl or do any cables or color work or lace or anything, just garter. Alright, so that's what I've been knitting on, and I had the other skeins from my I Want Halloween yarn binge arrive, and these are my very first skeins of No Makers yarn. And the first one I got, which I had to have, was their Stars Hollow colorway. This is on their fingering sock, weight, the sparkle gnome base, 75 superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% sparkle, which It's just a sparkle power, but I think it's the Stellina like otherwise. I don't even know what Stellina is. Is that like the proper name, or is this what you call the sort of metallic fiber? Anyway, so this will become a pair of socks for myself, and I'm thinking of doing it the Hermione's everyday sock pattern. I've not tried it ever before, but I think it'll work out fine. I just sort of want something else than just plain vanilla, but I want it to still be stripy. I'll try it and rip it back if I don't like it. And the other one that I got was pumpkin spice latte, and I got it in the DK Scruffy Gnome base, which is 85% merino and 15 Dunelco tweed. And I believe this colorway only comes in the tweed bases. It's really, really pretty. Orange and me are a bit strange friends. I really quite like orange, especially this time of year when it's up around me in nature, and I really like the leaves turning and everything. And pumpkins, I love pumpkins. But I don't know, somehow I can't really wear orange, so no orange sweaters or hats or even shawls. So okay, in socks. And then this one, I got the DK base because I want to make mittens. And I know, maybe I should make mitts. I don't know, I'll decide before I cast on, but I just want something on my hands. Pumpkin spicy. And I did think about mittens, but now that I said it out loud, I'm like, I'm not wearing mittens at this time of year. Mittens are for winter, and I don't know if I want to wear pumpkin spice in the winter. We'll see. Anyway, about to cast on those. I want to do all of these yarns like in October. I don't know if that's too ambitious or not, but I'm trying. And the last skein that I got was Mr. Frankie in the sport weight, so I'm trying out different bases as well. Sporty Gnome is the base, and it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And this will be bed socks for me, and possibly also for my son. I think one skein will be enough for both of us. So yeah, that's my Halloween slash autumn yarns, and I think unless I'm shopping for a specific pattern, the next yarn purchases I'll do are for Christmassy yarns then. I'm just sort of really wanting to go with the seasons here. And the last thing I wanted to show you and talk to you about is how I store my needles. I know Melissa of the Spicy Homemakers podcasted a sort of a review of needle storage, and other people have also at least briefly touched on the subject. So I thought I would share what I do, and this is hopefully a base for discussion and ideas. Since mine is not perfect, I guess I could just show it. I have made this needle holder, I think, it was before my son was born, so 8-9 years ago. It's just this really long rectangle. I have some batting here. So the outside is the sort of thick cotton canvasy type fabric, then some batting, and then the inside is of this thinner quilting cotton. And then I made another layer with it that has these pockets, and I wrote down just with a regular pen needle sizes, and these are meant to be in millimeters. Right, so when I did this, I had basically just needles like this that didn't even have packages that were from my mother's stash over time, sort of stolen. And I did not have any house sizes, or I don't know what to call them. So I had 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, but I did not have 2.25, which I now have 2 of. So how I've done it is I've thought for 2, I've had 2 and 2.25 millimeters. For 2.5, I had 2.5 and 2.75 millimeters, and so on. The thing is, now that I knit most of my socks in 2 and 2.25, this is really full, and like I said, I did not have the packages for the needles when I made this, so I really can't fit. I have 2 more 2.25s to add here, and I really can't fit them in here, so I just keep them here. So I'm thinking maybe I should just ditch the packaging. I don't really care what the brand is when I'm knitting, do I? And I have the needle gauge thingy where I can check the size if I'm unsure. So this has worked well for me over the years, but now I'm thinking I need to change it up a bit and do something else. But then I have this flap that I fold over, and then I fold it in 3s, so theoretically I can just turn it upside down and they don't drop. So this works fine at home. I've never traveled with this, and I don't intend to, so it's just in my in a drawer in the living room like this. And then my circulars, I had another fabric case for them, but when I have this much needles, they were spilling over. So I repurposed this. I think this is from our fridge, and we weren't using it there, so it was just laying around in one of the kitchen. Actually, this is from the fridge of our old apartment. Whoops. I think I might have needed to leave this there, but anyway, it was just in one of the kitchen cupboards, and I took it. Oh, there's me. Yeah. So I have my needles here in their original packaging, because for circular needles, I do like to know what it is. Of course, I could find out if it's higher sharps or Chiago lace needles from trying the tips, but it's just easier to keep, and this way they don't tangle. And the only thing that I have here is I have cardboard box here that says 4, so that means 4 millimeter. Before that, I have things that are smaller than 4 millimeters, and after that, things that are larger than 4 millimeters or larger. So that's the only division thingy I have there. And I've lost bags from some, and this end I have my crochet hooks, because I don't really have that many. I don't need to organize them. That one is for beading, and well, that was the giant one, and then here are the more regular sized. And also I have some of the leftovers from my interchangeable kit that I had, a few cables and just one needle, I think, because I had my pair broke, so I kept the other one, and these stoppers. So if I need to, if I'm knitting a sweater and I need to put aside a whole bunch of live needles, then I can use these, and this is just to help me get them on the cable. So yeah, interchangeables and me. No, I don't like interchangeables. I don't know if it's the way I knit or if I just had a really bad pair, but when I knit with interchangeables, always this happens. They start to unscrew, and I have this gap there, really not doing much good here. Anyway, I get this gap between the needle and the joint since it starts to unscrew, and then all the stitches will naturally get caught in that, making knitting not really that easy. And every once in a while what happened is that I would have somehow magically not noticed that, and it would come loose all the way, and then I would have dropped stitches everywhere. And also these are the Knit Pro melodies. Anyway, the really common things that people use, and I had several of them break. I got this set from my mother years and years ago, but I pretty much immediately I gave up on knitting with this. The wooden part would come apart from the metal thingy that it's set in. So either I would have a gap there, or it would just come completely loose. So I lost several pairs on that. So whether I just had a really bad set, or it's just something that I do with my hands while I knit that's not suitable for the interchangeable set. Nice idea, but I like my fixed cables now on. Yeah, so I think that's everything I wanted to talk to you about this episode. I'm apparently doing this on a weekly basis now. That's not a promise, but that seems to be working out fine now that I'm not working full-time. Let's see what happens after the year changes and that changes as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you hop on over to the Lena Knits group on Ravelry and join our mittens gal there. It's really just a knit along. There are no prizes and really no rules, just knit something for your hands. There are a few people participating already, and there are also some questions there that I hope others would chime in on as well, since I haven't knit that many mittens, so I don't know about pattern recommendations and such. So go and share your ideas, even if you're not knitting mittens but you have knit mittens before, you have an opinion on mittens and how to knit mittens or mitts or gloves. Do pop in and share your ideas and your favorite patterns for things for your hands. So I'll see you soon, I hope, and I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.